Deep Sea again, and I have several questions for you. You told me that you enjoy electronic music, but could you be specific on what type of music you play during your spinning times?
Well, I pretty much play anything that's good.
Define good, please. People have different opinions on what's
People
good.
it's very subjective. People have different opinions. For me, it's anything with emotion, that starts in one place and ends up at another, or at least takes you on a journey and ends back in the beginning.
Wow. Okay.
From very deep jazzy vocal house to, the techie of the tech. Right now there's so many genres that people say there's, electro, there's house, there's techno, and even those genres have subgenres and they mean something totally different in 1990 than it does in 2008.
Yeah.
But to me, good DJs are the ones who play all of it throughout the course of a night or, their residency, all the time.
Okay.
I played techno back in the 90s, as well as deep house, as well as tech house, or tech house at that time wasn't even a genre, So now I still play deep jazzy house. I still play techno. I still play trancey stuff. I wouldn't say necessarily the big 10,000 person trancey venue kind of songs, but I still play trancey stuff, jazzy, uplifting, upbeat, down tempo, just anything that I feel is good that needs to be heard.
All right, Deep Sea. For our audience who may not be familiar with all these genres, could you define what is deep house, what is techno, what is? Because some people who may not have been exposed to the music may not know what the genres are.
Well, just as hard as it is to say what something is good to someone, it's also hard to explain what each genre is, because I'll be playing just regular house and somebody would say, well, are you playing techno all night? So,
Wow.
But for the most part, I would say it's all house. Everything else is a form of house. Other pioneers of genres like electro, like Kraftwerk is considered electro pioneers, even though in most of their early songs they would say techno.
Okay.
And you have the techno pioneers like Juan Atkins, Derek May from Detroit, which a lot of their stuff was sort of electro-ish. So it was all pretty much similar. It was just pretty much dance music. It was different than disco. Because disco sort of had a certain sound.
Okay.
For the most part, unless you get into Giorgio Moroder kind of stuff, which was kind of spacey, trancey, it was still disco.
All right.
But they could be considered sort of trance. The first trancey records.
Yeah.
So could some of the early Kraftwerk stuff. So it's hard to pin down what is what. Everybody has a different meaning towards it. So that's why I say that I play everything.
Wow. Okay, so even the categories are subjective, like you said.
Definitely.
Okay. Wow. Okay.